we worked hard to get into this competition last year, and we are really looking forward to it. We managed to get a good result, obviously, in the last round. A good result on Saturday, and we just hopefully take that momentum into this week's game. But it's a game to relish, a game for the players to enjoy. But ultimately, we do that by progressing, and that's what we're looking to do.
For Motherwell and for Scottish football, how important is it that other teams start getting that little bit further in these competitions?
Yeah, it's vitally important. I think it's vitally important. You strip it back to the coefficient and things like that. But I just think for the the feeling surrounding the game, I think. For ourselves, for Aberdeen, for Rangers, for everybody that's playing this week, it's important that we do get through, because I think our game does take a little bit of a battering at times, rightly so on some occasions, but a lot of the time not for the right reasons. And I think there is a lot of good things happening in Scottish football, so the more we can progress, hopefully that adds to that narrative. And certainly we're hopefully going to do our bit on Thursday.
Are you a fan of the one-off ties this season?
I mean, it is what it is. I think we would much rather have it, in normal circumstances where it's two legs and our fans are involved in both games, which I think brings so much more to the party than it is at the moment, unfortunately. But that's where we are, and we've got to deal with that. What it does, it just becomes maybe a little bit more of a one-off, or literally it is more of a one-off, but so maybe anything can happen sort of feel to it. But we've still got to back ourselves over one game or two, that we can still go and progress. However hard that's going to be, we've got to back our own performance and back ourselves.
You got a taste of the Irish League when you played Coleraine. I mean, the scoreline probably was a bit harsh on them after the sending off. They looked a decent team as well, so there's a warning of the quality you're going to face.
Yeah, absolutely. There is. I think added to that, I think the result you see they got in the last round away to Motherwell, who are a well-versed European side in both the Champions League and the Europa League. So, we watched that game as part of an analysis. We know that they are a determined side, like Coleraine, as you mentioned, and I think it did take to the last 20 minutes, half an hour for. Eventually we really got on top in the match. So we expect nothing less. We think it's going to be a tough game. They'll be very organised. We know Oren well, so we know they will be organised and they will show determination, especially on their own patch, obviously. So we know what we're up against, but hopefully that Glentoran game has given us a feel for the game that we're going into. And as I said, that Maribor game as well. So our players are well warned. We know what to expect, and we know we're going to have to be our best.
You've played obviously in a lot of these games where you're going from one week to the other, and you're trying to juggle it with the league as well. Was it obviously important to get the 3 points out, under your belt on Saturday as well? Does that make everybody feel a bit better in training this week as well?
Yeah, naturally it does. I think the manager's said on a number of occasions we feel as if our performances have merited more in terms of a points tally, but that's football, that can happen. What was important for us was Saturday. Regardless of performances, we had to get points on the board, particularly as you say in the build up to this game. So yeah, the players are feeling I think they are feeling a little bit better of ourselves. Our coaching staff are, the manager is. So we certainly go into the game in a good frame of mind. But we've got to continue that. We've got to try and build a little bit of momentum. We managed to do that last year in periods where we went on runs of games, and it wasn't just one game at a time, if you like. We did manage to put results together, and that's what we've got to try and do. And that next opportunity is now Thursday.
Alan Campbell was saying a few weeks ago that you were a big influence on him, so how much credit do you take for his rise in form this season?
I take that as a massive compliment. Listen, Alan for me is been on a number of occasions that young boy's attitude to football is second to none, and I literally none. I can't remember playing with a player, being involved with a player that shows as much dedication to his craft and that lad does, and it's a pleasure to coach him. It's a pleasure to see his journey from a young boy of 15 all the way through to now. And I really think the sky's the limit for that boy, just down to his sheer will to improve and will to succeed in this game. It's becoming more and more rare, to be honest, if I'm being brutally honest, in terms of young players, not just, I'm not talking about Motherwell here, but across the board, in my opinion. So it's so refreshing to see somebody with that much drive to get the best out of what he's got, get the best out of himself, basically. Every single day, and we just see him getting better and better on a daily basis. But 99% of that's down to Alan himself. Yeah, we're there to try and guide him and help him along the way. but certainly Alan himself has got to take the pat in the back there, and as I said, we see such high potential for him.
Just in terms of this week itself, to bring back any memories for you as a player, you've been obviously through the mill with these tied a lot with Motherwell.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs, but just being involved in it's a massive up. It's certainly a highlight of my career, being involved in European football for Motherwell, as many times as we did. But the ones you remember are the ones you get through. It's nice being involved in the competitions, but the good memories you have are actually getting through in the competition, and that's what we're obviously looking to do this week. So, as I said right at the start, we worked so hard to get into this position. We want to try and make the most of it, and we're determined to do that on Thursday.
When you first became assistant manager, obviously Motherwell were fighting sort of towards the bottom. Did you always think that if the club could get back to where it was once in Europe?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you've always got to believe that. I think it's a difficult challenge for a club of our size to do it, and that's why I said we've got to try and make the most of this opportunity when we do achieve it, because it is an achievement. It is, for this football club to be in European football is a big achievement. So as I said, we've got to maximise that opportunity. So, but yeah, I fully believe that we could get back to this level. But now that we're here, we've got to use the chance and try and progress as much as we can.